Our next panelist portrays Dean, wisecracking older Winchester brother. Before Supernatural, he was Before Supernatural, he was familiar to WB viewers as Jason Teague on Smallville. I don't know if I'm going to get through these intros. He had a recurring role on Dawson's Creek and was a regular on Dark Angel. He received 3 Daytime Emmy nominations for his role on Days. Please welcome Jensen Ackles. Our next panelist portrays Sam, the rebellious younger Winchester brother. Before Supernatural, he was best known as Rory's boyfriend, Dean on Gilmore Girls. His film credits include House of Wax, Cheaper by the Dozen, Flight of the Phoenix. Please welcome Jared Padalecki. Well, how about you guys, Jared and Jensen? Can you tell us?
I'll let Jensen take that.
From your.
You go ahead.
Oh, Jensen, that's totally you. What was
honestly?
What's the exact question?
The question is.
Spelling bee?
Can you use the word in a sentence?
Use that in a sentence.
Leper?
Leopard.
Leopard.
No.
Each script is just bursting at the seams with archetypes, and you know, last thing I think these people want to hear is me going to an explanation of. I love the script. I love the character.
Did so.
We're doing a answer.
I'm awake.
Okay.
So, so your experience.
Pretty much the same.
Well said, Jensen.
Yeah. Well, like Eric said, they had originally brought me in for the role of Sam, and I knew David Nutter very well. I'd worked on testing for a number of pilots before that, so I felt very comfortable with him and with his recommendation of me coming in, and he felt good about it. And I had a conversation with him on the phone before I came in, and he kind of gave me a spiel about Sam and what he thought, and then I read the script, and I was just like, what about Dean? I like Dean. He's funny. But I studied for Sam, and I went in there, and I actually kind of studied for Dean a little bit too, just in case. And I went in there and I read for Sam, and like Eric said it, and they were like, they were pleased with it. And then went home that evening and got a phone call, and they said, well, there's this guy, Jared Pada something.
That's a
Pada something. And they really are liking him for one of the brothers. And I'm like, okay. So of course I look him up online, and I'm like,
you thought I was hot.
This guy's smoking hot. I can't. What, brother? And we went in, and that was the first time we actually met, and then we did the scene together for a room full of executives, and that was that.
Okay.
And we've hated each other ever since.
Yeah. I poisoned your waters.
Chemistry is something you can't manufacture, and these guys have it, and they're so great to write for, and they're so fun to write for.
I know just one time randomly, we were filming Skin, the episode where he's a shapeshifter, and we were inside this house, this brilliant house. Yeah, it was a brilliant show. And we were inside this house, and just this clock on the wall just up and leaned over and fell off. Just this round clock. No one was near it. No one was hammering on the wall outside. It just kind of fell off, and everybody sort of looked around. But instead of kind of going, who did that, we all just were like, ignore it and go back doing it. Just decided to not look into it any further, the way real brave people do it. So
the show Asylum was.
Oh
yeah. That was shot in an actual abandoned mental institute, and so the halls and the rooms and were all very used at one point, and you know, it's said that the crew says not to go up to the 4th floor, and then, you know, don't. And I remember we broke for lunch, and I thought I'd be, you know, clever and take a shortcut. I came down a stairwell and went into one door, and it was just a long, dark hallway because there's no lights on. The only lights on it is what the film crew puts out, and I was like, well, it's not that long. I can make it. That freaked me out.
Okay.
Dean Winchester, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, thank you.
Afraid of nothing.
Now that there's a new network that you're probably going to be moving to, the CW, are they going to loosen up and give us a little more NC-17 like we got the Jensen storyline the other week?
Bob?
I'm confused. What?
All right.
How can I forget? Thank you for that, man.
Sure. Happy birthday, Jensen.
Yes.
You know, I mean, CW is huge on full frontal male nudity, so... I think there's a lot in store. Stay tuned. You know, I mean, we'll give them love interest and love stories as it's appropriate. We're gonna need it.
Okay, well,
Going back to your first question, the green screen and stuff, we do a lot of. I said do.
You said doo-doo.
You said doo-doo.
We do work a lot with.
Doo-doo.
Jared, you can take this one.
As Kim and Jensen were saying, we do.
And then the other question is, in an episode, I don't remember which one it was, you gave the phone number where you're trying to reach your dad. You're like, give me a call, this is my number. But whenever you call, it says this is Dean Winchester, and it says leave your coordinates. Did you ever hear, like, can you actually leave voicemail on there? Did you hear, like, did you have a lot of fans leaving messages at that number? Because it wasn't a 555 number. It was very small to pick up on, because my sister and we watch it. She watches it at her place, I watch it at mine. And I was like, did you see the number? She's like, was it a real number? And so, anyway, that was my question.
If you want to actually call him, it's 800 wet legs. This is.
Don't give out his number.
Oh, you changed it? Scratch it. Go back to a scene in Wendigo that we did at the very, second episode of the year, and I remember there was just such a long period of time between the pilot and Wendigo. It was, from March, April till July, and there were so many questions in my head when I found that we were getting picked up, like what's going to happen, where are we going to start, like how do we start, how do we finish, how do we continue this story that we started in the pilot with so many things going down, how do we keep the momentum going? And there was this one particular scene that Jensen and I did on stage where he's got Dad's journal, he's saying this is what it's about, and Sam is saying I got to find Dad. And I remember we had a huge day that day. We had like 8 or 9 pages of dialogue, and Jensen and I realized that we had to do this scene. We're like, oh crap, like what? Like let's go memorize it. My trailer. We sat down in my trailer, and there was an acting coach that I work with whenever I can named Cameron Thorpe there with us, and he kind of pushed and prodded me a little bit, and I don't know what he did to Jensen, but we were.
I don't want to talk about it.
It was noisy.
Never again.
That's between y'all and the wall. But